Speaker Sviggum, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Let's begin with your political resume, which looks a little bit like this. First elected to the Minnesota House in 1978, you were Minority Leader from 93 to 99, House Speaker from 99 to 2007. You were also Commissioner of Labor and Industry and at one time Management Budget Office. So how do you translate the skills that you learned in these positions to your newest endeavor as executive to the Senate Majority Caucus?
Sounds like a guy can't hold a job is what it sounds like. But well, obviously with that experience and that background, that I hope, Julie, that ability to maybe bring people together, to find common ground, bring people together, which I think is an important trait and an important thing to be able to do in order to serve the best interests of Minnesota, whether it be in the executive branch or as Speaker or Minority Leader. I hope to have been able to reach out to people, develop relationships, and learn how you do bring people of differing values, differing philosophies, differing policies, together in the best interest. And I guess, Julia, I hope I'm not going too long with the question, but you kind of think about it as a team, if you would. I happened to be a basketball coach, a football coach when I was first teaching school. And I think a legislature or a Senate or a caucus, you break it down to wherever you want them, are much the same. You recognize that there's differences of abilities and talents, first of all. And then you hope and work for each other's success. And you do that in the best interest of, in this case, Minnesota. And I hope to have that background, that experience, to be able to help the Senate to do that.
And it's fair to say that the Senate Majority Caucus has had a lot of challenges recently. Would you consider it a divided caucus at this point?
No, I don't think it's necessarily a divided caucus, but it is a caucus that has individuals very, very concerned and upset in relationship to the messaging and what took place. You and I are probably concerned about what took place, Julie, and I think that unfortunately, in the end of November, I guess it was 1st of December, when we had that surprising November forecast, which showed the state has gone from a $5 billion deficit to an $876 million surplus. That ought to have been the message. And the Minnesota Senate, as well as the House, as well as the governor, should take some small degree of credit for that. And that message, that good message about management, might have been lost because of some other extracurricular situation.
And you're bringing up messaging. What are some of the other messages that you want to convey at this point?
Okay. Well, first of all, good management. That you hire people to be good managers, you hire people to be senators or representatives to be good managers of your resources, make proper decisions, and obviously, the Senate has done that. The economy and jobs. Everybody mentions that first and foremost, but then they differ as to how to get to that answer of jobs and making Minnesota a place where job creators and jobs, thrive. That this wants to be a place where you do work and where you do have work available. And we're going to have a very big package on job creation and job retention and job expansion. Then maybe the whole accountability issue with government redesign, reform. Very important. We've spent a significant amount of the last months on a redesign, reform commissions that have significant recommendations on how to do Minnesota's work better. Provide programs, provide the services that need to be done, but do it in a better, more service-oriented way.
So describe for me your style in trying to convey this message and some of the challenges that you think you face.
My style, probably try not to be confrontational. I don't think you govern well from the extremes. I don't think you govern well, and people literally want state government to work, to govern, to be efficient, spend your money prudently. Don't tax you more than you need to be taxed, but to work. So my style would be one of bringing people together, of outreaching with relationships to try to find that sweet spot that does bring people together. There are times for disagreement, but you try not to let those confrontations get in the way of governing Minnesota.
So, Mr. Speaker, shortly after you were hired, Senate Majority Leader Dave Sviggum released a statement saying, "This unique opportunity gives us the ability to capitalize on Steve's experience, knowledge of the press, successful decision-making skills, and relationships he has created over many years of service. Given this, what kind of expectations do you think are placed on you, and what are your expectations of the Senate?
He said those good things?
He did.
Oh, that's because I wrote it. No,
Well done. You just proved why you're the right man for the job.
I'm just kidding. I did not write my own news release, but
If you had.
yeah, if I had. Well, you try not, you try to be a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and not take yourself too seriously, and also, Julie, I think it's important to raise expectations beyond what you can provide. So I don't want to raise expectations to the fact that I am the decision maker. I'm not the decision maker. That I have this unique ability to bring folks together and to find common ground. Others have those abilities, but I think I will be part of the process that helps us work right in Minnesota. And hopefully that background, that experience, those things that you mentioned that sounded a lot better than I deserve, would be part of it.
All right, Speaker Steve Sviggum, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. We'll see you obviously a lot during session.
Thank you. Thanks, Julie.